Hello everyone, in this video let us learn about law of DNA constancy and C-value paradox. Before moving on to the law of DNA constancy, let us study the introduction on microbial genetics. The branch that deals with the study of genetics of an organism and the branch that deals with the study of the genotype of various microbial species and the expression of this genotype to form a phenotype is called as microbial genetics. Microbial genetics can be mainly studied under prokaryotic genome and eukaryotic genome. Now you might be thinking that prokaryotic genome is actually microbial genetics and eukaryotic genome is not microbial genetics, but that is not the case. Fungi is an eukaryotic microorganism, so therefore eukaryotic genome also comes under microbial genetics. There are various microorganisms which are eukaryotic in nature, like for example some protozoa and fungi. So therefore microbial genetics can be mainly studied under prokaryotic genome and eukaryotic genome. Now this prokaryotic genome is the complete genetic material that is present inside a prokaryotic cell. So that is known as prokaryotic genome. In a prokaryotic cell, the complete DNA that is present inside a prokaryotic cell is called as prokaryotic genome. Eukaryotic genome is the complete genome that is present inside the nucleus of a cell. We all know that prokaryotic cell do not have a nucleus, whereas eukaryotic cell has a nucleus. So the whole genome, genetic material that is present inside the nucleus of a cell is known as eukaryotic genome. Eukaryotic genome is very large and it is complex compared to the prokaryotic genome. Then what is this genome? The genome is the genome is the entirety of the organism's hereditary information. So any organism's hereditary information, the entire organism's hereditary information is called as genome. Usually genome is coded either in the DNA or in the RNA for an organism. So genome is encoded either in DNA or RNA for an organism. Gene is a basic unit of DNA. It is a nucleotide necessary for synthesis of polyfunctional polypeptides. A gene contains region called as introns and exons. Now introns are the intervening sequences and exons are the coding segments that are present on the DNA. So in molecular biology, you would have learnt about a gene where coding region will have leader sequence, trailer sequence, introns and exons. All this you would have studied. Let us move on to the genome size. So genome size is the total amount of DNA that is present within the copy of a single genome. That is called as genome size. Within the copy of a single genome, the total amount of DNA that is present is called as the genome size. Usually genome size is measured in terms of picograms. Sometimes it is also measured in daltons. Picograms means trillionth of grams is known as picograms. Trillionth of grams is known as picograms. DNA is also measured in terms of daltons. You would have studied 3.2 daltons, 24 daltons, like this it is studied. So it is also measured in terms of daltons. Most commonly used measurement is the nucleotide base pairs, the total number of nucleotide base pairs. DNA is also measured in the terms of nucleotide base pair. You could have studied that the genome of a particular cell is so and so kilo base pairs, mega base pairs like this. This genome contains 6407 base pairs. Like this you would have told. So DNA most commonly is measured in terms of nucleotide base pairs. The size of the genomes vary enormously from bacteria to higher eukaryotic plants. So when we compare a bacteria and a higher eukaryotes, the size of the genome will vary a lot. So that is about the gene and the genome size. Now let us move on to the actual topic, that is C value. So what is this C value? The term C value refers to the amount of total DNA present in the haploid nucleus. So you all know that the nucleus is of two types, haploid and diploid. Haploid means N, diploid means 2N, correct? So the term C value refers to the complete amount of DNA that is present in an haploid nucleus. So total amount of DNA that is present in an haploid nucleus is called as C value. Then what about diploid nucleus? In the diploid cell or in the diploid nucleus, the C value is 1/2 of the total DNA. So 1/2 of the total DNA that is present in a diploid cell is known as the C value. In an haploid cell, it is the total amount of DNA. In a diploid cell, it is half of the total DNA. I hope this is clear to you all. That is called as C value. So the term C value refers to the half of the amount of total DNA that is present in a diploid somatic cell, or the total amount of DNA that is present in an haploid nucleus. Now the C value will vary from organisms to organism. In mycoplasm, the C value is less than 10 power 6 base pairs. The total DNA is in mycoplasm is less than 10 power 6 base pairs, whereas in some higher amphibians and in some plants it is more than 10 power 11 base pairs. So like this, the C value will vary from organism to organism. So the C value varies enormously from organism to organism. So let us see how did this C value got its name. The origin of the term C value was given by a person known as Hewson Swift. This is the person who coined the term C value in 1950. He used the designation 1 C value, 2 C value, 3 C value, 4 C value with reference to the content of the DNA. How much of DNA is present? Based on the content of the DNA, he told the genome has 1 C value, 2 C value, 3 C value. Like this, he had designated the C value terms. So therefore, C stands for constant. C is constant. For every organism, the C value will be constant. The total genome in an haploid nucleus will be constant for one particular organism. The C value will never change. That is why the C value stands for constant. That is the amount of DNA that is present in a particular genotype, that is present in a particular cell, is always constant for all the cells in that particular organism. That is why the C value stands for constant. But many authors nowadays have assumed certain things, that C value will refer for characteristics, content and complement, but that is actually wrong. C means constant. But some authors and some textbooks will say that C stands for characteristic of the DNA or the complement of the DNA or the content of DNA, which is wrong. The C stands for the constant, because the amount of DNA that is present in an haploid nucleus will be constant for all the cells in the organism. If it is a diploid nucleus, then half of the total amount of DNA that is present in a diploid cell will be constant. That is what C value means. C stands for constant. So let us see the variation of this C value among various species. So C value vary enormously among species. I have told this earlier as well. In animals, they range from 3300 fold, and in some land plants they differ about 1000 fold. Now some protist genomes have been reported to vary more than 3 lakh folds, so in size. So 3 lakh fold in size, they are going to vary in protist genome, say like amoeba and all. Now variation in C value bears no relationship with the complexity of the organism, which means what? We all know that complexity, we will tell complexity based on the organism. So lower organism like bacteria, viruses are lesser complex compared to eukaryotic organism. That is what we have been studying. But the C value has no relationship with the complexity of the organism. Initially, people had thought that more the genome, then more complex is the organism. Less the genome, less complex is the organism. This assumption people had, but this assumption is proved to be wrong. More the genome means more complex is the organism. This interpretation is actually wrong. There are many instances and many examples where we can see that certain organisms has more of genome, but they are actually less complex. Say for example, salamander is an organism which has a lot of genome, but they are not complex compared to humans. So the complexity of the organism will never depend upon the genome. That is what this sentence means. Variation in C value bears no relationship to the complexity of the organism. I will repeat, if the genome size is big, that doesn't mean that the organism is also big and complex. That is what this sentence means. The C value means the total amount of DNA has no relationship to the complexity of the organism. So let us see how to calculate the C value. So to calculate the C value, we should know the molecular weight of nucleotides. Why we should know the molecular weight of nucleotides? Because DNA is made up of nucleotides. So since DNA is made up of nucleotides, if we have to calculate the total amount of DNA present in an haploid nucleus, then we have to know the molecular weight of the nucleotides. So if you see the molecular weight of deoxyadenosine monophosphate is 331.2213, that is the molecular weight. Then deoxythymidine monophosphate is 322.2079. So this is the molecular weight of every nucleotide. Likewise, GMP and CMP is also given in this table. But we all know that in a DNA, adenine is always bound to thymine and guanosine is always bound to cytosine. We all know this. So based on this, we are going to calculate the C value. So if you have to calculate the genome size, then the formula for this is 0.78 into 10 power 9 into DNA content in picograms. So 1 picogram is usually 978 megabase pairs, MB. 1 picogram is 978 MB. So the DNA content, if you have to calculate, so what you have to do is you should know the genome size. If you divide the genome size by this 0.978 into 10 power 9, then we get the DNA content. So how did we get this value 0.978 into 10 power 9? That is the that represents the base pair, the relative molecular weight of one base pair. The relative molecular weight of one base pair is usually 0.978 into 10 power 9. That is the relative molecular weight of one base pair. So with this we can actually calculate the with this formula we can actually calculate the total amount of DNA that is present in an haploid nucleus, or 1/2 of the total amount of DNA that is present in the diploid nucleus. So this is the formula. 1 picogram is equal to 978 MB. So these are the formula to calculate the genome size and the DNA content. The current estimates for human female and male diploid genome sizes are 6.407 into 10 power 9 and 6.294 into 10 power 9 base pairs respectively. For female, it is the estimate of the genome size for female, it is 6.406 into 10 power 9, and for male it is 6.294 into 10 power 9 base pairs. By using the conversion formulas given above, diploid human female and male nuclei in genome G1 phase of cell cycle should contain 6.550 and 6.4436 picograms of DNA respectively. If we use this formula and calculate for male and female human nuclei, genome in human nuclei, then in the G1 phase, human female and male nuclei should contain this much amount of DNA. So 6.550 for female and 6.4436 picogram of DNA for male. When we use the formula and calculate, this should be the conversion in the G1 phase of the cell cycle for male and female. That is about the calculation of C values for the organism. Then we know now what is C value. C value refers to the total amount of DNA present in an haploid nucleus, or half of the total amount of DNA that is present in an diploid nucleus. Then what is C value paradox? So we will see what is C value paradox. C value paradox is the puzzle that is there among molecular biologists. So that puzzle is actually called as C value paradox. So C value paradox is the name given in biology to the wide variance in and often very large amount of DNA in eukaryotic genomes and the poor correlation between the DNA length and perceived organism's complexity. Which means, as I told you, if the during variation among species, I told you that the genome size will not have any relationship between the complexity of the DNA. So C value do not have any relationship between with the complexity of the organism. That is what this sentence means. So various microbiologists had a lot of confusions that bigger the genome size, then the organisms are much more higher and they are much more complex. Smaller the genome size, they are smaller, the complexity of the organism is smaller. Like this, there was assumptions which was proved to be wrong. So this is actually known as C value paradox. The total amount of DNA in eukaryotes are expressed as base pairs per haploid genome, which we all know that is called as C value. And the combined confusion over this point, there is a confusion over this point. This combined confusion is called as C value paradox. The confusion that is going around between this complexity and the genome size, that confusion is actually called as C value paradox. The discovery of non-coding of DNA in early 1970s resolved the main question of C value paradox. That is, genome size does not reflect the gene number in eukaryotes. The genome might be bigger, but the genes that are present in an eukaryotic cell are very, very less. Say for example, we have learnt about repetitive DNA sequences, non-repetitive DNA sequences, moderately repetitive DNA sequences, pseudogenes and all. So these repetitive, non-repetitive, pseudogenes, spacer DNA, junk DNA, these will never code for any proteins. The genes are the ones which code for proteins. So apart from gene, there are so many other nucleotides that is present in the DNA. So because of this, the genome size, the complete total DNA is actually doesn't mean that the organism is more complex, because the gene is actually the unit that is present in the DNA which will actually help in functioning of the cell. The gene helps in functioning of the cell and not the complete genome that helps in functioning of the cell. Therefore, genome size does not reflect the gene number in eukaryotes, because most of the DNA is non-coding in a gene. So therefore, we can define C value paradox as, the C value paradox is the name given in biology to the wide variance in and often to a very large amount of DNA in eukaryotic genomes and the poor correlation between DNA length and the organism's complexity. That is what the definition means. I will repeat. The definition for C-value paradox is the name given in biology to the wide variance in and often very large amount of DNA in eukaryotic genome and the poor correlation between the DNA length and the complexity of the organism. That is what C-value paradox means. The confusion that is created with the large amount of DNA in an eukaryotic genome which do not have any relationship between the DNA length and the complexity of the organism. That is what C-value paradox means. In simple words, C-value paradox is the confusion that is there between the genome size and its relationship between the complexity of the genome. That is actually known as C-value paradox. Now, the C-value paradox is also termed as C-value enigma. C-value enigma. So, in this slide, I will be telling you what is C-value enigma. Now, there are some important aspects of C-value paradox or C-value enigma. C-value paradox is also termed as C-value enigma, and there are certain important aspects of C-value paradox. So, we will see what are these important aspects of C-value paradox. So, the first aspect is morphologically similar organisms appear to have different amounts of DNA in their genome. Morphologically similar means structurally, physically to see they are going to look similar. So these organisms also will have different amount of DNA in their genome. Say for example, Bacillus and E. coli. Bacillus is a gram positive microorganism. E. coli is a gram negative microorganism. Now both of them, when you do a simple staining and when you look under the microscope, morphologically they look similar. Both are rod in shape, but the amount of DNA that is present inside them are completely different. So that is what this sentence means. Morphologically similar organism appear to have different amount of DNA in their genome. The next point is C-value paradox. Amount of DNA in the genome seems to correlate poorly with the organism's complexity. This aspect I have already explained. That is, the genome size do not have any correlation with the complexity of the organism. That is very poorly correlated. That is what this sentence means. That is, the genome size will not match with the complexity of the organism. The next important aspect is C-value enigma concerns the relationship between the genome coding capacity and the number of proteins actually synthesized. So C-value enigma deals with the relationship of the genome coding capacity. Genome coding capacity means in particular genome how many genes are actually present and how much of protein is being synthesized. That is being taken care by C-value enigma. Now here to explain this, I will give you I will tell you what it is. So in a genome, there will be genes present and there will be junk DNA present. So genes are the ones which will code for proteins. But in the gene also, say for example, a eukaryotic gene has exons and introns. Now the gene is too big. But because there are exons and introns present there, when the mRNA is getting synthesized, the complete mRNA when it gets synthesized, the introns will be removed. So the introns will be removed and exons will be joined. Because of this, what happens? The length of the mRNA is shortened. Therefore, the proteins that is produced is also, the polypeptide chain that is produced is also shortened. So in a gene, though the gene is bigger, the mRNA becomes shorter because of the introns. Later, the proteins that is produced is also shorter because the mRNA is shorter. So now you would have understood that C-value enigma always deals with the relationship between the genome coding capacity and number of proteins and the size of proteins that is actually synthesized. So as we all know, only a few % of the genome is functional. So what is that few percent? That is called as gene. So here DNA will code for RNA, RNA is coding for protein. DNA contains the gene, whereas the whole gene sometimes will give rise to, in prokaryotes, the whole gene is going to give rise to the coding region of the gene will give rise to mRNA, and the mRNA is giving rise to protein. As we all know, gene also contains promoter region, operator region and all. So this promoter region, operator region, leader sequence, all this will not get synthesized into mRNA. So obviously the gene is bigger and the mRNA that is being produced is smaller. That is what C value enigma deals with. That is what I wanted to tell here. That is all about the important aspects of C value paradox. Let us see the transposons and C value paradox. The genome of Arabidopsis thaliana contains approximately 1.2 into 10 power 8 base pair of DNA. But only about 14% of this consists of transposons, and the rest are functional genes in an Arabidopsis thaliana. And another genome, let's see, that is the maize genome. The maize genome contains 20 times more DNA compared to Arabidopsis thaliana, that it has it has 2.4 into 10 power 9 base pairs, but surely has no need for 20 times as many genes. In fact, only 60% of the corn genome is made up of transposons. So this is how the transposons are present again in between the genes. So therefore that is also a myth, that is also a that is also a reason to create confusion in C value. That is why transposons are related to C value paradox. So now, since the transposons are also present in the DNA, they are also not acting as a gene. So therefore the complexity of the organism in relationship with the genome size is varying. It's not matching. That is why the C value paradox is always studied with the transposons as well. Now, what could be the reasons for C value paradox? As I told you, the exons and the introns. Since the mRNA is having both exons and the gene has exons and introns, when the mRNA is synthesized, exons are joined and introns are removed, because of which the polypeptide will become smaller. So that is one of the reason for C value paradox. Now, spacer DNA is present inside in a gene. So between genes there are spacer DNA. In between two genes there is a stretch of DNA. Now that DNA we call it as spacer DNA. Now the spacer DNA is actually a reason for C value paradox. Apart from this, there are various promoter region, operator region. Now they are also a reason for C value paradox. So these are the regions that is present on the DNA. That is the reason for C value paradox. That is the reason for this confusion. That is all about C value paradox or C value. So now let us move on to our next topic, that is law of DNA constancy. Now this means the amount of DNA that is present inside a cell for every species is always constant. The amount of DNA is maintained at a constant level in each species. For example, for Homo sapiens, the amount of DNA is constant. For all the members of the species, for all the human beings, the total amount of DNA that is present is always constant. That is what this second point also means. Law of DNA constancy implies that all cells in a lineage contain genetic information which is both qualitatively and quantitatively identical. Say for example, lineage means what? Say connective tissue or a muscle tissue. Connective tissue has a specific function. Muscle tissue has a specific function. So the amount of DNA that is present in the connective tissue will be same in all the other tissues. Say for example, connective cells. Connective tissue is made up of connective tissue cells. So in all the cells of the connective tissue, the quality of the DNA that is present, the amount of DNA that is present, the number of genes that are present will be always constant. It is well established that over 90% of the eukaryotic genome is non-coding, and only the 10% of the eukaryotic genome is actually coding for the proteins. 90% of the eukaryotic genome is not coding for any type of protein. Now, how will cells maintain the DNA constancy? How the DNA is constant in all the cells for a species? There are two ways to maintain that. The first way is the DNA replication and the DNA repair. So the DNA, when they get replicated, they will replicate and they will be divided equally into two cells. So when the cell is dividing, the equal amount of DNA is actually given to both the cells. That is how they maintain the DNA constancy. And we all know that during replication there are chances that the DNA might get mutated. So in this case, our DNA polymerase is the enzyme which helps in correcting those mistakes. So that also helps in maintaining the DNA constancy. The DNA will get repaired by various recombination procedures and all. So all those will help us in maintaining the constancy of the DNA. Now, there are variations in DNA. Variations in DNA will provide genetic material for natural selection as well. So the law for this DNA constancy arose in mid 1990. The law was made in 1990. So what are the actual laws here? The first law is that the amount of DNA per chromosome is always constant. The amount of DNA that is present in a chromosome will be always constant. The DNA content of a single set of chromosome is largely invariant among members of the same species. That means the content of the DNA means what? Spacer DNA, junk DNA, genes, promoters, operators, various things that is present in the DNA. They are called as the content of the DNA. The content of a DNA of single set of chromosome will not vary much among various members of the same species. That is what this sentence means. I hope this is clear to you all. I will repeat this sentence. The content of the DNA in a single set of chromosome will not vary much for the members of same species. For example, Homo sapiens is of same species. There are many human beings which are of same species, that is Homo sapiens species. So among these members, among these human beings, the DNA content in a single set of chromosome will not vary much. That is what this sentence means. I hope the C-value paradox and law of DNA constancy is clear to you all. I will just conclude this by telling what is C-value paradox and law of DNA constancy. C-value means the total amount of DNA that is present in an haploid nucleus is called as C-value. Otherwise, the 1/2 of the total DNA. 1/2 of the total DNA that is present in a diploid nucleus is also called as C-value. Then what is C-value paradox? C-value paradox means initially people had thought more the genome size means more is the complexity of the DNA, but which was proved to be wrong because of various other regions in the DNA apart from the genes like junk DNA, spacer DNA, operator, promoter and all. There are certain species which has larger DNA but their complexity is very less. They are still a primitive organism. One of the example that I gave you is salamander. Salamander has a large amount of genome size, but they are primitive organisms compared to human. They have genome size more than humans, but they are still primitive. So this confusion that is the correlation between the complexity of the genome and the genome size, the complexity of an organism and the genome size. the correlation between the complexity of the organism and the genome size. This confusion is called as C-value paradox. Then law of DNA constancy means the amount of DNA that is present per chromosome in a cell to a species is always constant. That is called as law of DNA constancy. I hope this video will help you all to understand C-value paradox and law of DNA constancy. Thank you all. If you have any doubts, you can message me on WhatsApp. Thank you, class.